let's wait for people coming in. We've got 28 people. It's being recorded so people can catch up afterwards. If I activated replay, you wouldn't be able to. So I'll do that.
Are we giving it another couple of minutes? Just Jenny, any more it coming in?
All of the, so people can say hello in the chat, the session chat. Please say hello, let us know where you're from. We'll start. Who's on mute?
Me? I was on mute.
Jen's on mute. Session chat, yes. Right, we're at 32 if you want to.
Shall I kick off?
Yeah.
Everyone's coming in saying hello. There's from all over the place. Nashville, Mexico. I can see lots of people coming in. It's so wonderful to see you all. We're really pleased to have you here with us this afternoon, this morning, or this evening, depending on where you are. But we'll kick off, and it's quite informal today. So welcome to this Women in Games Monthly Social. I'm Mary Claire, CEO of Women in Games, and I'm joined today by Gemma Brown, my co-director and our ambassador director, and by Gemma Bowen, our community manager. We thought it would be good to start the year in a more personal and direct way, utilising this monthly social gathering to share some important updates with you and to give you space to ask us questions and talk openly about what's ahead. I'm going to start with a couple of things. Something very hot off the press, our new Women in Games Manifesto. Then I'll introduce our first major event of 2026, the Women in Games Careers Expo, the Future of Work, which is taking place on March the 26th. After that, Gemma will talk about the ambassador program, and then Gem will share updates on our community and events. Yes, we have two Gemmas today, so we'll try not to get confused with who's saying what and when. But Gemma Brown is going to share her screen and to help me, support me as I go through the manifesto. So this new manifesto reflects the moment we're in as an industry and as a community. Let's start with the cover. It sets the tone for a new era. Themes of justice, balance, and power are central. This isn't just about aspiration, it's about accountability and the future we are actively shaping together. The contents. Next slide, Gemma. The contents matter too. You'll see that this manifesto moves beyond explanation. It's structured to guide reflection, action, and ongoing engagement. Next. Okay, and in who we are, we affirm not just our mission, but how we work. Through partnership, a global community, a women-first approach that recognises different lived realities across regions and cultures. The 14 reasons, next, Gemma, sorry. The 14 reasons to empower women in games have evolved with the times. They speak not only to equality, but to resilience, well-being, creativity, and the long-term sustainability of our industry. In reasons 1 to 5, we ground the case in reality. Women make up nearly half of players, yet remain underrepresented and undervalued. Fairness isn't charity, it's essential to culture, creativity, and economic strength. Reasons 6 to 10 reflect today's pressures. Belonging, safety, intersectionality, and the freedom from harassment are no longer optional or aspirational. They are non-negotiable foundations. And in reasons 11 to 14, we explicitly name well-being, sustainability, education, and mentorship as fairness issues, because representation alone isn't enough if women can't stay, thrive, or lead. Next image, Gemma. Why the scales are still uneven is one of the most important shifts in this new manifesto. It acknowledges that despite progress, imbalance persists in pay, opportunity, safety, and security, and that fairness requires constant active effort. Next image, Gemma. How Women in Games plans to bring about change makes clear that this work happens across multiple fronts: industry, education, policy, community, and culture, and that none of these operate in isolation. Next image, Gemma. In our global ecosystem, we recognise the real power of this community, ambassadors, chapters, partners, and allies, and the strength that comes from connecting across borders and disciplines. We published the Fair Playing Field, the Women in Games Guide, and we are taking that as our foundation, but making an evolution. So from playing field to living guide. This manifesto isn't static. We're planning on a project which is called Women in Games Voices. It's something that lives and grows, shaped by real experiences, insights, and solutions from women around the world. This is going to be a very active guide. So the original guide that we first made was, it was a lot. It was long. It was a report in style and in function. But the living guide will be much more active and fluid. Next one, Gemma. And then finally, how you can get involved is the invitation. The manifesto only has power if it is used through partnership, participation, and standing together to protect fairness in uncertain times. So as you can hear, this manifesto reflects the reality many of us are navigating: professional, economic, and emotional instability, and the fact that women often carry the weight first. That's why it speaks not just about progress, but also about protection, well-being, and collective resilience. Fairness is something we achieve once and move on from. Fairness isn't something we achieve once and move on from. It's something we must actively maintain, especially when conditions become more difficult. This isn't the final word. Through the Living Guide, it's designed to grow with you, shaped by your stories, your insights, and your realities. So you've had a little sneak review. I'm sorry there wasn't time for you to read each section. I've just given you a little taste of it. It's going to be available on our website very soon. And please download it, read it, and use it, and be a voice for women in games. I'd now like to tell you something about our first major event of 2026. I think, Gemma, you can stop sharing the manifesto now. The Careers Expo was created in response to how quickly the world of work in games is changing and how unevenly that change is being felt. Careers are no longer linear. Skill demands are shifting. AI is becoming part of everyday workflows. Independent, freelance, and hybrid career paths are growing. And at the same time, many women and diverse people are navigating instability, reduced security, and fewer clear routes forward. Our Expo exists to provide practical clarity in that environment. Its purpose is simple: to help people understand their options, strengthen their skills, and make informed decisions about their careers, whether they're progressing, reskilling, entering the industry, or building something of their own. The core themes of the Expo reflect where the future of work is heading. So we're going to be focusing on AI and creativity, on ownership and entrepreneurship, leadership and influence, ethical, inclusive and safe workplaces. And we are looking at expanding creative frontiers, opening up a broader and more realistic picture of what a career in games and adjoining spaces can be today. So the Expo area sits at the centre of the Careers Day. That's where these themes become practical through CV and portfolio feedback, studio conversations, and honest discussions about roles, hiring, and career models in 2026. By running the event online on this Ring Central platform and across 3 time zones, we're ensuring this support is global, accessible, and flexible, reaching people wherever they are and whatever stage they're at. At its core, the Career Expo is about agency. It's about giving women and diverse talent the knowledge, confidence, and connections they need to navigate change and to actively shape the future of work in games rather than simply adapt to it. So those are the 2 key areas that I just wanted to talk to you about. So, really want you to take a good look at our manifesto and utilize it. And also, we would love you all to come and, be part of the Careers Expo. We think it's a really important moment for our community and anyone else interested to come and get involved and really think about what the future of work is. And so now I would like to hand you over to Gemma Brown, who is going to talk to you about our Stellar Ambassador Programme.
Thank you, Mary Claire. We'll share the link to the careers event in the chat shortly. Hopefully we'll see you all there. Whilst I load the programme, how many ambassadors do we have watching at the moment? Just say hi in the chat. Hi, Jennifer. Right, okay. So vast majority are not. Oh no, we've got Belina.
Oh no, you're not on mute, Gemma. You come off mute.
You do count, yes. 3 to 4 days ago, we're just onboarding our next cohort. You'll be announced publicly shortly. That's an exciting step for us. But what I'll do now is I'll go through in more detail about the ambassador programs we have. So we actually have 3 ambassador programs. The individual one is our largest, has over 2,400 ambassadors in over 80 countries. And that is a network linked with corporate ambassadors and education ambassadors. And I'll go in a bit more detail to each 3 of the spheres. So our ambassador program started in 2016, so 10 years ago. That's when Mary Claire and I joined the organisation. And at the time when I took on the ambassador program, we had about 30 ambassadors, I think, in 15 countries. Small but active and keen to grow and have an impact. In 2018, we brought in the corporate ambassador program, and 2020 we brought in the education ambassador program, and each of those have grown over the last 10 years. So our education ambassadors, mostly UK based at the moment, but we have interest from US and Europe and further afield. This is the start of our cohort, so of our talent pipeline starts through university and education. And Mary Claire's background was education and university, so has a keen interest and background and knowledge there, and it's important that we are involved and encourage women that participate in games related courses and show them the great community we have. Our corporate ambassadors all over the globe, we have different levels of engagement with each of the corporates, and depending on their own journey through diversity and belonging will depend on how much they engage with us at different levels. Some of these you will see actually, they will have Expo booths at the careers event, and it's a really good opportunity for you to meet with them face to face online. It's held in the Ring Central and to the left hand there will be an Expo tab. We obviously don't have that live today, but that's how you meet with them. Our individual ambassadors, as I said, has grown 2,400 with the next cohort we're onboarding at the moment. Vastly spread all over. Gemma's dropped into the chat more about the programme and how you apply if you're not an ambassador or there. But so it's a way to get connected to your local community and also have an impact and share our vision and goals across the world. From a high level, ambassadors are expected to be a role model. Look at our values, our purpose, what our mission is, and you're expected to be visible with offering help and support and guidance, inspiration for others. We know role models are very key for young girls growing up. We're expecting you to not only be involved in Women in Games projects and events and activities, but also showing you your local community, what it's like to work in the games industry, have that support. Be an advocate and activist for empowerment of women. It's always important to advocate and share each other's voices. As part of the ambassador network, we have lots of activities. Jem will cover a lot of ways in which you can get involved. We facilitate and organise many activities, and having all of the ambassadors part of that really has an impact. And you can sign up to our newsletter, so we'll drop a direct link into the chat on there as to how you can get more involved. Within 12 months, we do task our ambassadors to create a visible initiative. This can be small scale to larger, and I'll give some examples of what we've run over, or what ambassadors have run over the last few years. Host a social event, anything from a coffee, networking, lunch, a brunch, anything from board game cafes to we've had a whole variety of in-person and online events. One of the biggest take-ups we had was actually in COVID time, where we introduced coffee breaks for a way for people to connect around whatever subject they wanted to, and that was a really great way, particularly in those times, to feel a connection. Run workshops. Everybody has unique skills and abilities, and sharing those with others is a great way to get involved. So an example of ambassador-led events over the last few years. So in Milan, a dinner and discussion was organised. We had GDC meetup in 24. We've had online virtual fireside chats on UX that was running our Discord. Women in Games Asia, which is a chapter, is another area that we're very active in, which is probably a whole nother social gathering in itself to go through, but they're a very active sister chapter for us, and they done a panel at Gamescom Asia. One of our largest ambassador events was a ambassador-led event, was a 500-person Women in Games event in Sweden at a place called Space, and had talks and had lots of portfolio reviews. They had an art exhibition. They had what's the nail thing called? Get what it is. A nail bar. That's what it is. A nail bar. They had cocktails. It was such a diverse and really fun event. Unfortunately, I couldn't go, but I had some great feedback from that one. So would love to run something at that level. It took a lot of organisation. Paulina Manrica run that event, and she did a fab job. One of the key activities for ambassadors, it actually takes place in the Careers Expo. So we've run an Ambassador Ask Me Anything booth. Ambassadors will step up and volunteer to talk about an area they're knowledgeable, and then we group 3 or 4 of them together in a booth, and it's a real fun and informative area of the Expo. So if you're an ambassador, the sign-up link is on our ambassador-only Discord channel. If you're not an ambassador and want to learn more, then join them at the booth to ask questions. Become an ambassador. Gemma's already dropped the link in, or drop us an email at hello@, and we'll answer any more questions, or ask the questions in this chat live, and we'll ask them for you. Thank you. Oh, I'm going to hand over to Gem, who's going to take us through some community activities she's doing.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Lovely to be here. This is my first time with Women in Games, as I joined recently. So I'm going to share with you my little presentation on events and what we some ideas that you can get involved. Let me just share my screen. Let me know if that's working. Can you see it? Is it working?
All good.
Yeah, good. Okay, right. So Women in Games events for 2026. Obviously already been mentioned about the Careers Expo, but we'll start with our monthly social gatherings over on Ring Central. We're going to be holding those monthly, and they will be on various different themes and topics with different speakers, but we will announce those in the lead up to each month, so that you can decide if it's something you want to get in on and sign up for. And then we will also be having, to be confirmed, our quarterly ambassador gatherings. So these will be specifically for our ambassadors. This will also be online via Ring Central, and again, content and themes will be confirmed at a later date. And we would love to see as many ambassadors there as we possibly can. And then, of course, the big one so far is March 26th. We're going to have the Careers Expo, the Future of Work, again online. So hopefully most of you can join us. I'm not sure there's much more I need to say about this, because so much has been said already, but there will be more information coming out over the coming weeks on socials about this and in our Discord. So keep a lookout for everything. We'll be announcing speakers and everything in the coming weeks. And then, of course, July 15th, there will be the Cake and Fizz, which is our in-person event at Develop Brighton. More will be coming out on this as well, but I just thought I'd pop it in there in case you want to mark your calendars for that one. There may be more. I think we're determining what else we might be visible at, but yeah, we'll share that with you on socials when we know more. For the community, how can you get involved? I know that this is something that, when I was an ambassador, I asked and I questioned. And if you're a community member, resharing our content is like one of the easiest ways for you to get involved. It helps get the eyes on our content and on the things that we're talking about, helps get eyes on our events. So if you can reshare our content and engage with it, that would be really helpful. Attending our events is really helpful. Again, it's great to see faces there. So if you can help support our events and share about them, that would be brilliant. Sign up to our newsletter so you can have the information direct to your inbox and on everything that we're doing. Join our Discord community. Of course, we have a large Discord community. It's a very relaxed and valuable Discord community where there's a lot of networking and sharing and opportunities there. So if you want to come and join us in Discord, that would be brilliant. And obviously, I keep everything updated on any events or news from our partners, stuff like that. Donate or fundraise to support us if possible. Obviously, I know that that's not always easy to do, but if you can fundraise or make a donation, it helps us continue our mission. And of course, become an ambassador. Ta-da! If you want to become an ambassador and help spread our mission, you can find out more about that on the website, as mentioned. As an ambassador, how can you get involved? Well, share your lived experiences with us. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear your opinions. We want to hear, your thoughts on being an ambassador. It would be great if we can share those experiences as an ambassador, to help drive others to join us. Host your own ambassador community events, as mentioned. There's all sorts of different things you can do. It doesn't even have to cost you anything. It can be online, it can be in Discord, it can be a games evening, it can be a coffee share, anything, to network and, again, share our mission. Offer mentorship or guidance. Again, this is a great way to share your knowledge, and guide others. And if you can do that, again, in Discord is a great way, because people are often asking questions or seeking advice, or looking for roles or whatever it may be. So this is a great way to help others. And write thought pieces around our core themes and mission. If you have thought about putting your name out there in some written work, we would love to have it, and we would love to share it, especially around the Careers Expo. Perhaps there's on those key themes, perhaps there's something that you're really passionate about and you'd like to share. Then you can reach out to us and send over your ideas. Write something for our newsletter. Write something for the website, whatever it might be. We can share everything. Remember to tag us on anything that you're doing. If you're hosting an event, tag us so that we can reshare it and make a note of it as well. And we would love you to be a Women in Games superstar by doing all of these amazing things, and yeah, spreading our mission and networking with others in the best way that we can. So finally, read and share our manifesto and add our events to your calendar. And of course, send any content that you have to me. There's my email address, and you're welcome to reach out to me in DMs, on Discord, wherever it may be, and I will do what I can to help. That's all from me.
Brilliant, Jem. Well done. Look, you've got loads of confetti, absolutely loads.
Thank you. I was so nervous.
Jem was very nervous because it was one of the first times she'd done something like this, and particularly for us at Women in Games, and she did a fantastic job. So part two, or this part, is we're here to answer any questions that you might have, and I'm looking in the chat at the moment to see if there are any. I haven't seen any come up yet. Don't know if I've missed any from earlier. But is there anything else that you'd like to know at this moment in time about Women in Games, or you have any questions for us before we get into the networking side of things? Yes, Simona had, and I did answer that. So, Simona, if you send an email to the hello at email address that I put into the chat, then I can give you a little deck, a link to a deck for education ambassadors, so that you can have a look at that and see whether your university would be interested in joining us. Yeah, and I'll answer that directly. So just go ahead and send that. Any other questions from anyone? You're all very quiet.
Stan, I've got some questions that I prepared for moments of time on there. So for us, what does a good ambassador engagement really look like? What are we expecting people to practically do when they've got jobs, families, other commitments? What's our expectations?
You're answering that, Gemma. You're asking a question and answering. And
just as I've asked it, people are answering questions. But I thought you could answer, and I'll chip in if needed, rather than asking my own question.
But the thing is, you're the expert on the ambassadors. That's
I think, well, for me, it's all about balance, right? And as we've all said, it's doing small things to larger things. People don't necessarily have time to organise large get-togethers, but being visible and reaching out just to one person has a massive impact. And that's what a good ambassador is being visible for us. But let's actually answer people watching questions. Martha asks, how does Women in Games support ambassadors when they plan hangouts or meetings in real life? In there, so ambassadors have access to an ambassador-only resource page. In that is lots of information from how to organise events to running events. We ask for as much notice as possible. The team is very small, so there's 3 more of us in the background. So we're a very small team with global impact. So as much notice as you can give us as possible to events is appreciated. Jem will reshare, will promote, will highlight them. Lisa, who is our PR and community director, will include in the newsletter. We will share our tips. We can give connections to our corporate ambassadors and education ambassadors to see if there's a place for them to host or support with catering or anything like that. We always encourage people to ask questions and discuss with us their thoughts and plans.
I think that was all good advice, Gemma. And just to add to that is within your own organisations or your own communities, I think it's really important to lead from within those spaces. A lot of companies, once they've been approached by an ambassador, will be very supportive of running an internal event. And so that's another thing. I know that Gemma Dovetail have done some internal events in the past, which have been very successful for ambassadors.
Yeah. Gloria asks, can a student and or someone not entirely in the games industry yet be an ambassador? I'm still in the beginning of my career and want to break into games, but I want to get involved as a leader. Yes, so on the application form, we do ask and we verify where people are at. Obviously, being an ambassador is those that are in the games industry or want to get into the games industry. That's the key thing, but it's not a barrier if you're not in there yet. The application form guides you through that. B asks, are there tips on how to rally ambassador events? I know we can host solo events, but I would love to collaborate with ambassadors in my area if possible. Jem, do you want to take this one there's a lot of activity in the Discord.
Yeah, there are channels in the Discord. There are region channels in Discord, so you can put feelers out in those. And if you have something specific, you could always reach out to me and I can also highlight things. I do try to amplify stuff myself via our main channels. So if you do have some good ideas, do feel free to reach out or use those channels and see who's available. I know I appreciate that it can be hard to get people involved. That's why I highly recommend online events if possible, just because it's so much easier for people, especially with things the way they are. So yeah, try Discord if you're not already in Discord.
I know that ambassadors who have previously joined the AMA for the careers booth have then gone on to collaborate with an event because they've done something together and it's given that connection for them. Abigail, okay.
Oh no, I was just going to go into Abigail about GDC. We last year we did run an event at GDC, which was organised, a group of ambassadors who are US based. So I think that's a key thing to think about. We're looking at the moment of connecting to some of our US ambassadors, connecting them together to try to get something to take place during GDC. As Jem said, I think if you go into the Discord and you go into that section of the Discord and the US area, but if you also keep a lookout from what we post, because I'm in conversations at the moment with some US based companies and ambassadors. So I hope we won't be there in person, but we will be being represented at GDC. No more questions at the moment for us.
They started flying through. I closed my list in. Astrid asks, Women in Games has grown a lot internationally beyond visibility. What do you think really makes a local chapter impactful on the ground? Great question.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
I'll start with that and you go in. So we have some different types of connections. So a chapter is a region. So our very first chapter, which we piloted, which is now coming into 3 years, is Women in Games Asia. As you can imagine, it's quite a lot of work. You need a really great team in the ground in a region, not just simply a single country, who is well connected and can gather all of those more grassroots organizations together and all those really enthusiastic individuals, ambassadors together. We do work with a lot of Women in Games organisations across the world, including, I'll give you an example, in Europe. We've had a long-standing relationship with Women in Games Italia. Now, Women in Games Italia is what we call a formal associate. So they're an associate, they're an independent Women in Games organisation set up independently, but we work together, we share some of our branding, we share some of our events and activities, we work together on things. So we have associates, Women in Games associates, and we have chapters. Now, we're planning on growing both of those. So we have interest from different regions at the moment, globally, who want to set up chapters. We've also got people in countries who have maybe started something very small, something grassroots that is not actually incorporated as a not-for-profit or a charity or whatever, who want to get into that position. We at Women in Games are setting up Women in Games Europe, so that we're based in the UK, but we want to have a base in Europe so that we can start to help and drive those European Women in Games organizations that then become affiliated with us, because we strongly believe that if we all connect more clearly and with more purpose, that we will then be able to drive the change that is so necessary. But Astrid, we've got some information on this. So, again, you can always get in touch with us if you were thinking particularly about setting something up. But just to finish this off, it's big work for us. It's a lot of work for us, and we're a small team. And what we really need is some European funding, or some funding from somewhere. Then we can actually really get this off the ground. So in the background, we're constantly working on trying to get those plans, to move forward. Yeah. Gemma, is there anything else to add to that?
Well, it was that you've given the context. I think it's what makes either a local chapter or association impactful is the activities it does, and it takes a lot of work and effort to run. So it's making sure that there's a team around you or people around you that are aligned with Women in Games vision goals. That's the main thing.
Just one thing more to add to that is that Women in Games, the Asia chapter, they do give us an update in our newsletters that go out every 2 months. So you get to hear about and a sense of what they're doing in their region. And, we, where possible, if events are taking place with other Women in Games organisations across the world, we get them to provide us with information that we can then share. We're planning at the Careers Expo, it's probably worth saying at this point, we're planning to have a community booth where we're inviting Women in Games organisations from across the world to come into the booth and to host sessions where they can talk to attendees at the event from their regions about the work that they're doing and how you can get involved with those more local organisations. So yes, the mentorship program, it's raised its head again. Yes, Gemma, do you want to take that?
It's something that is of a high request and has consistently. But don't be sorry, it's a very good question. It's one that always comes up. We've had many a debate about it, and there are fantastic programs running. Limit Break run a great mentorship program, and for our point has always been that we're a community, we're a network, and that's our strength and that's our grounding. And for a mentorship program to have impact takes mentorship, one-to-one coaching mentorship, takes a lot of training, a lot of effort on everybody's part, particularly with matchmaking. My experience of true mentorships happen naturally through a network, through a connection, through that making those points and learning with each other. Structured mentorship programs are a challenge. They need funding, definitely need funding, definitely need resource. Developed, when was that? 2020? We've done like mentoring breakfasts and small pop-up bite-sized things, and there's obviously a need, and you want to address that need properly. We've explored mentoring circles, which is the area we want to develop, where again it's a community and it's a network, a small circle. We have it all there ready to activate. We need funding. But forever this barrier of funding is there. So yes, we know it's a need. It's something we want to address. We want to address it for the community that has a lasting impact. But yeah, if any of you have got deep pockets and want to invest, then come tap us up. But no, it's not a. Don't apologise for asking the question, Simona. It was a great question.
And just to add on to the end of Gemma's very eloquent reply, we've got some irons in the fire. So we have this worked out to a degree of what we want to deliver and how we want to deliver it, and we have put that out. So it might be watch this space, and 2026 could be the year that our mentoring program actually gets off the ground. Let's hope so. So I think, as Jim said, I think that the informal networking, or the networking you can do together, or the informal mentoring is also a really good. I think that's good. It happens naturally.
Women in Games Asia run a very successful program for mentoring in the region, and it's one we've obviously worked closely with them on and take inspiration from, and it works particularly for that region and their wants and needs, because there are successful individual one-to-one mentorship programs. We want something that's ours and has a big impact. Yes, partnerships with universities, so our corporate and education ambassadors would be involved, and that's the ecosystem and community that we dream to develop and grow wider and wider.
This is all true. And Simona, you know, dreaming, it's good to dream. We dream, you dream. I think everybody should dream, because it's also a way of activating yourself into doing something to make those dreams, whatever they might be, come true. So, yeah. Are there any more questions? No. I think everybody wants to talk to each other. They don't want to. They
make use of the networking.
Yes,
There's
networking. Stop listening to us now.
been a lot of people in it. I'm looking at the back end dashboard, so it's great to see you all using that function. Can we wrap it up there?
Yes. Let's wrap it up. Just want to say to all of you, thank you so very much for your attention to us today, and for joining this event. We hope to see you at the careers event. We really hope to see you, and be in touch with us in the many ways that have been described. We hope you will be. Thank you very, very much, and goodbye for now.
Thank you all. Bye.
Take care, everyone.